What's up? It's your boy, the Hot Stepper, McCray Martin, and you are watching Count It Out with Mike and Tyler, where they talk about not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, not eight, but seven moments of the year.
You are listening to Count It Out with Mike and Tyler.
Well, we are live, pals, and welcome to another edition of the Bill Apter Seal of Approve Count It Out with Mike and Tyler. My name is Tyler, and I am joined, as always, once again, by the one and only Mr. Mike. What's going on?
We did it. We're back, baby.
We are back. I am looking dark over here. I'm going to turn my light up a little bit. Yes.
I'm excited. You've been working on some personal projects. I haven't been able to connect a lot lately, but we're back. I want to thank Matt Zuckman for filling in last week. I want to thank everybody for their patience and understanding for not having a show the week before. But we are back to business this week, baby. We got a huge show for you this week.
We are Eric Bischoffing this week. We are back and better than ever.
Better than ever.
I also like to thank Matt for filling in last week. Now, okay, I loved the guy's show last week. I agree with most of you guys' list, but Mike, you said something last week, and it made me.
Heat?
Well, you don't have heat. I just think it's silly. But
Okay.
you had me. First of all, you said two things last week that audibly had me yelling at my car. One of them was
What was it? The Shelton Benjamin stuff?
It's really funny because one of them was the Sheldon Benjamin thing because
I'm sorry, Benjamin Shelton.
Benjamin Sheldon, that is correct. Let's get it right. We'll get a nice tweet in response to that as well.
Yeah.
But when you were like, I guarantee you Tyler thinks that he is exactly where he should be. I was literally saying it out loud as you were saying it. Like I was like, no, he's good. And you said it as I was saying it, which made me laugh. The other thing you said,
I know you, man. I know you.
So no disrespect to Sheldon Benjamin, but not everybody can be a world champion, right? Now, the other thing that you said, and I just like, Mike, you cannot believe that this is actually true.
What?
Was when you guys were talking about the Mick Foley and Randy Orton match, and that you thought that Eric Bischoff's part was a shoot.
I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't audible because it just seems so out of place to me. It didn't seem like it belonged. It didn't. Mick Foley looked confused. It didn't it didn't fit the rest of the match.
I just think it was a bad spot.
And the lore, and 100%, you very well could be right. I'm not saying that, it's not a conspiracy theory or something here. I'm just saying that it wouldn't surprise me at all if I found out that there was an audible called because Vince was like, no, fuck no, they're not doing that, and sent Bischoff off to stop it.
I just don't want you calling Dark Side of the Ring and trying to set up the next episode of the next season, all right? So I just don't think it's true. I think it was a planned spot. I can't picture anybody in the WWE like going off the rails that badly and not hearing about it and any type of story.
Yeah, no, you're right.
We're off to a great start. Mike said I'm right. Mike said I'm right. We're gonna call. This is the end of the show. Thank you very much for joining us this week.
That might be the first time I've ever said those words.
That's why we're calling
in
the
that
show.
order to you.
We're calling it. We are calling the show. Thank you very much, guys. Please subscribe and all that stuff. Let's talk about stuff. A lot of stuff's happened.
About stuff. A lot of stuff's happened. I saved a lot of the WrestleMania talk for you.
I don't want to talk about it.
You know what I'm talking about?
Should have taken it with Sucker last week.
You know what? I'm sorry. That was a clickbait question.
That was clickbait. Best thing ever. So before we talk about WrestleMania, though, I just want to ask: have you seen the Billy Jack Haynes episode of Dark Side of the Ring? I know I texted you last night and I fell asleep.
You know I haven't, and you know the reason, and I'm going to tell everybody the reason. And you can understand this. I have become obsessed. Obsessed isn't even the word, with the television show Ted Lasso. And I've been watching nothing but Ted Lasso for the last week. So no, I have not watched Dark Side. I have not watched Raw. I have not watched anything. I've been watching nothing. Like every bit of my spare time has been Ted Lasso because it's quickly becoming one of my favorite shows in television history. So no, I have not watched Billy Jack Haynes. I am halfway through the very last season of Ted Lasso. When I'm done Ted Lasso, the first thing I'll watch is Billy Jack Haynes because I'm hearing great things about it. Our good friend Todd Gordon is on the episode, and I've seen some clips from him on there, and it looks like a very interesting. Oh no, sorry,
No, Todd was the week
that,
before with Eddie
that was the
Gilbert.
Eddie Gilbert episode.
Also a phenomenal
Still,
episode.
I heard that too, but still, the Billy Jack Haynes episode, the guy's a fucking basket case. So I can just imagine this is. I can't believe they waited this long to do it. To be honest.
What all I'm going to say about it is I have two things I'll say about it. Then I want to move on to some real stuff here.
Mhm.
Um, you definitely are going to get a shock syndrome going from Ted Lasso to Billy Jack Haynes. Let me tell you straight up.
From the nicest guy in the world to Billy Jack Haynes.
And whatever craziness you think about Billy Jack Haynes, this
Yeah.
show not only lives up to it, it surpasses it in every
Oh
way.
God.
This has been one of
Well,
the I've got 10 minutes left in the episode because I had to leave for work yesterday when I put it on.
yeah.
This has been one of the most entertaining episodes of Dark Side of the Ring that I have ever
You
watched.
you and I have discussed this in the past. Our favorite episodes of Dark Side are the ones that we get to learn something. You and I are cursed with a lot of wrestling knowledge. It's very hard for us to learn something that we didn't already know. So when I get these episodes about guys that I never really dove deep into, never really, looked into or don't know a lot about, I like Billy Jack Haynes. I know very little about, other than the fact that he's in jail for murder. I don't know anything else outside of that.
And they
Um,
interview him like from jail.
oh,
He's
really?
it's a lot. It's a brand new interview, and his attorney is with him the whole time. So they'll ask him a question,
Jesus.
and they just show him looking at his attorney. Can I talk about that? No, they said I shouldn't talk about that.
So I'm looking for this episode, if not only for the extreme nature and the shock value, but because I'm going to learn something. I love learning more about professional wrestling and the weird people involved in it. That was there was episodes I was always looking forward to, and then left not because left I left disappointed, not because they were badly produced, but because I didn't learn anything. Things like the New Jack episode, I learned nothing because I did a deep dive on New Jack when we were doing the Lasting Mark, did a whole New Jack show, so I already knew everything that they covered. Same thing with the Owen Hart show and the Chris Benoit show, and they're big subjects, but I don't feel like I learned anything. Shows like this, one of my favorite shows of all time that they did is one of the shows I learned the most because I knew nothing about the guy, was the Herb Abrams episode.
Hmm.
I love that episode because I didn't know anything about Herb Abrams.
And our good
Uh,
friend Jay from
he was
one of
in
the
that
shadow
episode,
characters
yeah.
in that.
So to this day, if we were to rank them, I'm sure we will one day. If we were to rank our favorite episodes of that show, I think Herb Abrams up there for me.
Yeah, it's a fun one for sure. I think that's up there for a lot of people. All
Mm-hmm.
right, well, let's shift gears. Let's talk about. I don't want to go like crazy, crazy because it's been a couple weeks. It's been about three or
Yes,
four weeks, but I
not
would like to.
exactly topical anymore.
I would like to talk a little bit about my WrestleMania thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the show. I know
Me too.
a lot of people didn't. I think though that this year's show is the perfect example of why, in my opinion, I'm good with one night. You know what I mean? I enjoyed both nights of WrestleMania,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that if you would have taken both of those nights and combined them into one night, it would have
Sure.
been one of the greatest cards of all time. I
I hate to say this because I was an advocate against the two night thing for the longest time. I'm starting to get sold on the two night, and only because it gets cut up. I don't want a 9 hour show, and that's what
no,
WrestleMania was becoming,
yeah, I
right?
hated that. I would
It
rather
was
have two nights over
so
nine
so
hours.
so instead of this massive all day all night experience, cut it up into two nights. I'm down. Now it's already a 9 hour show. They're both two 9 hour shows, anyways. If you watch the pre shows and the post shows and all that, but if you just watch the two shows, it's two 4 hour shows. I'm cool with that. Cut it up. You know, I can. It's like watching a movie. where you don't want to watch a 6 hour movie, but you're okay with watching a trilogy of movies that are 3 2 hour flicks. You know, I don't want to watch an 8 hour pay per view. I'll watch 2 4 hour pay per views 2 days in a row though. If you cut it down to a 1 4 hour pay per view, you're losing a lot, but you're only going to keep the quality, right?
I think if WrestleMania was a 7 match card every year,
Yeah.
it would be perfect. That's my take.
Do you know they're just trying to get all their guys paydays. They're trying to make as much payday as they possibly can. TKO is
Oh yeah,
a money machine.
and they're
All
making it.
they're making the money. As much as we as fans complain and bitch and whine about the prices of wrestling tickets these days, we're still paying them.
Well, that's it. And
That's it.
you look at the WWE WrestleMania store, it was empty by the end of the week. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to hear anyone complaining about it because you're paying for it.
Well, that's it. I'll complain all day. Like I'm with you. I hate the prices, but guess what? I went to Elimination Chamber this year,
Yeah, yes, you did.
and I paid for it. I paid greatly for it.
I will
So
say
you know,
that I thought that night two of WrestleMania this year was absolutely spectacular.
I agree.
I thought every match was a hit, including the main event.
But but Tyler, it was the worst WrestleMania main event in history, didn't you know?
I mean, John Cena's good. Do you know how hard it is to purposely have a bad match that is good?
It's almost an anomaly. It's what Cena did that night is a piece of art and should be studied
I
in the
agree
future. Yeah.
100%. If you want to look at character work inside of a wrestling ring,
Mhm.
and the near falls were great, the action was there when it needed to be, but it didn't need to be. The fact that
Mhm.
John Cena's whole offense, that entire match, was punching and axe handle smashes and the most sarcastic, worst 5 moves of doom that you've
Yes.
ever seen in your entire life. I loved it.
Me too.
A lot of people upset The Rock wasn't there. I get it, but The Rock wasn't there for any of the build.
Yep.
And The Rock, I don't know. I don't think he
And
needed to be there.
here's where I right before WrestleMania, you and I had this talk, and I was upset that Rock wasn't going to be there because what was the point of having him in Elimination Chamber in the first place? But here's where I am. If you start this build the day after Elimination Chamber, forget Elimination Chamber. Start the day after Elimination Chamber and go ahead. They never teased The Rock being at WrestleMania. They never gave us hope that Rock would be at WrestleMania. They never infused The Rock into this storyline after Elimination Chamber. So anybody upset that Rock wasn't there, you did that to yourself. You know,
Yeah, I get it. So
kind of like us last year with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
let me ask you some now that we're looking back on things a couple months in, questions.
Hmm.
Now, I'm never going to complain about this because I'm very happy to have witnessed it. It's one of the coolest live moments I've ever seen at a wrestling show. We got to see
Hmm.
John Cena's heel turn at Elimination Chamber.
Yes, we sure did.
Was that move maybe played too early? Should that have been played at WrestleMania?
No, I think it was perfect. You
Did
need
we did we need The Rock's involvement in the
no
heel turn at all?
now that it's played out the way it has, absolutely
Hmm.
not. They could have figured out a different way to do it. Um, that whole sell your soul horse shit was unneeded. We could have found either a different person to do the same story, or just John just could have done it by himself.
Yeah,
He didn't need The Rock in there. Sure as fuck didn't need Travis Scott in there. Um, John didn't need help to turn heel. John's story moving forward of why he turned heel had absolutely nothing, zero to do with The Rock. Nothing at all. So, in hindsight, the whole The Rock being there and the fucking thing he did made no sense. If you erase that, this is still, to me, one of the greatest heel turns in history.
I agree.
It's still You're asking if they did it too early? No, I think Elimination Chamber was the time to do it. We needed that build to WrestleMania, and we got that WrestleMania match, knowing that he was going to come in. I'm going to ruin wrestling. I'm loving this storyline.
From
Um,
a personal standpoint, do you think that John Cena is having not a hard time, but do you think it kind of hurts him a little bit that he doesn't get to do proper goodbye to these towns like after, you know what I mean? Like do you think like a part of him
I think
wishes he could just grab the mic after and
I'm
be like,
sure
"Thank you for everything"?
I'm sure a small part of him, sure, but I think he's probably having fun. He's probably enjoying what he's doing. He's still selling a fuck ton of merch.
I think
You know
they've
what I
done
mean?
everything
And they
great with
and
this.
they didn't change his merch. This is what I love. They're still doing the retirement tour.
Mhm.
Like they easily could have come out and just made "fuck you" shirts.
Well, now they have the
You know,
countdown clock, which is great.
which is awesome. And I love that he's doing the whole thing where it's like, hey, these are appearances, not
Mhm.
matches,
I
appearances.
just got to
Making
walk
it,
out and leave.
I'm just gonna walk out, and man, the only question remains: how are you going to turn him back face?
I don't know if you
I
do.
I see in the beginning, I said you have to, and I thought it was going to happen. At first, I thought SummerSlam, and then I'm like, okay, no, this is too good. They're going to run with it. Then I thought Survivor Series. Now I don't know. Maybe you wait right up until um what's the name of the show?
Ruthless
Ruthless
aggression.
Aggression. Yeah, I don't know what you do. I do think, honestly, I do think when he metaphorically leaves his pumps in the ring, um, he's got to do it as a heel or as a face.
Yeah, I
He's
agree.
he's
I agree.
gotta leave that building that night, leaving the fans happy. Sometimes that's the right thing to do, and in this case, he was. The reason this is the biggest heel turn of all time is because he was the biggest face of all time. He was the biggest baby face of that company since Hulk Hogan. Um, and maybe has surpassed Hulk Hogan
I think Cena's had a bigger run than all of them. Austin had the most successful run, but Cena's had the longest run on top out of all of them.
for sure. So there's a reason why people like Michael Cole and Triple H and others are calling him the GOAT because he has been in this position bigger and longer than anybody. So when he leaves, he can't just okay, fuck y'all, I'm out. He can't.
Um,
But when do you do the turn? And
I
how do
think
you
you.
do?
I think if I've
How do
got
you
the
do
book
it?
right now, I'm keeping the belt on him until Ruthless Aggression and having him lose to Cody, and then have their
Really,
moment.
you keep it on him right to December, eh?
If they can keep it going like this, I don't see why they wouldn't.
So let's switch gears for a second. You mentioned Cody. My original expectation was to not see Cody again until SummerSlam. There's rumors now that he's going to be returning at Backlash. They want him back real quick. They I guess they need him. Um, Almost like they just lost a bunch of people. Who knows? Uh, do you think bringing back Cody this early is a mistake? Do you really need him back this early, and why?
I think it depends on what they're going to do with them. I don't know where you go with Cody right now because I
I
think
don't because
Cena's
I
got some other stories to tell.
well that's it. I don't think John needs to be working with Cody right now. But if Cody comes back, I don't think it makes sense for Cody to work with anybody but John.
I think Cody's got to come back and eat up somebody. Like they need to show Cody. Cody needs to build an aggression side now, building up to
Well,
John.
because that was the story, right? He wouldn't do the wrong thing. He wouldn't cheat. He wouldn't be the bad guy. Now we got to see him get that aggression, that ruthless aggression
Hmm.
to face Cena. Uh, this is storytelling at its peak, at its finest. People who don't like it need to turn it off, start watching a different show on Wednesday nights. I'm so sick of hearing people complain and bitch about Triple H's booking and WWE's product. If it's not for you, don't watch it.
Yeah.
Why do you think I'm not on here every week tearing down AEW? Because I
Why?
don't watch it.
Why you
Why don't
don't?
you watch it? Because it's not my cup of tea.
You
If it's
don't
not your thing, don't watch it.
you don't want to see the home of the 21-time world champion Ric Flair as they promote him now, ever since Cena won the belt. I love that little petty shit.
The funny thing is, I thought they were going to go one pettier. I thought they were going to, I wouldn't have put it past Tony to put the AEW championship on Rick
I
to
wish they
make
would have.
to make him a 17-time world champion.
I think that would have been so funny. I would have been an immediate Tony Khan fan for life if they did that. I love a good old petty bastard. So
Before we move on,
well,
oh
wait,
sorry,
I
what
got
do you
one
got?
more thing I want to talk about Cena before we move on.
All right.
Um, John Cena is doing incredible work right now. I
Yes, he
love
is.
this angle of I want to ruin wrestling. I want to take the legacy of your most prestigious title away. I think it's genius. But, every week he comes out and he is running down the fans. Eventually, he's got to start saying and doing more.
Yeah,
Do you think that this act is going to run stale, or do you think that this is part one of many arcs of John Cena? Because
I think this is.
that's the way I'm leaning.
I think this is part one. I think let him get past the Randy story. And then because I think they needed to continue the anti-fan thing while they were doing the Randy story
Mhm.
because half of Randy's offense was, man, you got to have kids. Like this is such a cool story to me right now, and it's just a short story. I think it's going to be over right after backlash.
As it should be. It doesn't need to go
Yep.
any further.
Uh, boy, as short as it is, I think it's a very cool, very awesome, well told story because it's the exact opposite of everything that we've gotten from these two in the past. It's Randy's the laid back, cool one now. Randy's the one going, hey, man, just fucking, you should have some kids and you'll loosen up and blah, blah, blah. Randy's having some fun with it, and John's the prick. Now, I know this has gone around online too, but I thought of this pretty much as soon as it started. How great would it be if they ended this match with John attacking the referee?
Like
The
doing
way
the
that Randy
slap. I
doing the
wouldn't
slap,
I
you
wouldn't
know?
like it just
You wouldn't like
because
it?
no.
I think it'd be apropos. I
Because
like it.
I'm like, I just think this should be a one and done, and you can't end it like that. I think they should tease it. I think that like there should be maybe he does it, but it's not the end of the match somehow.
Sure, like he gets
I
disqualified and then
it
somebody comes out and restarts the match
it would
or
be a fun
something.
little throwback, but it also like yeah, I think it would be fun, but I just don't want the match to end like that. Not for
Yeah.
their because I don't want to see this program go on past Backlash.
No, I don't think it needs to go back on backlash past backlash. Um,
But if you end a match like that, it has to,
yeah, yeah.
right? Um, do you think that the biggest match of SummerSlam is Cena versus Punk, or do you run that match back at Money in the Bank as a homage to their famous match?
Ooh, I like that. I'm good either or, to be perfectly honest.
A lot of fun stuff for
It,
Cena.
however, I think they need a really really big match for SummerSlam because it's the first 2 night SummerSlam. It's they're trying to promote it as the biggest SummerSlam of all time. It's going to have WrestleMania like proportions. You need the biggest match possible. Now there's two questions here. Is Punk the biggest opponent they can get for him? And I think he's definitely in the top three. But will that match live up? Will that like is Punk's a little slower? Punk's a little, he's not where he used to be. Will Punk and Cena be able to do
Now, Punk's looked
it
pretty damn good
justice?
in the ring to me since
You
he's
know,
come back.
will he be able to do it justice? I think if the main event of SummerSlam, if I'm booking it, that's definitely in my wheelhouse.
What what if
I
you
think
do
I think Punk and Cena or Punk and possibly this it's got to be a face.
how about a 6-man tag?
Maybe Cena and Roman. I'm okay with a 6-man tag.
Like
Doesn't have to be a championship match.
what if you did Cena, Rock, and Travis Scott against Cody, Punk, and Bad
No,
Bunny?
out.
That's a
Keep them
huge
the fuck.
match.
No, I don't care.
Why?
Keep them out.
But they're a
Rock's
part of
done.
it.
No, I no
Rock is
no
not
no they're
done.
not. No, they're not.
You
No,
know
they're not.
full
They're not part of
well
it.
they
No,
are. Travis
no.
Scott main evented
Rock is
WrestleMania.
done. He's out of it.
He's
Rock has
not.
nothing to do with it.
I
No,
guarantee you.
keep Rock out of it.
I guarantee you the
No,
Rock is not done with
you're
this.
asking what I want. You're asking my opinion. I don't want to see Rock on fucking television for at least 2 years.
I
Fuck
don't
Rock.
I don't think you're
Then
going to be
the next thing
happy.
the If the next time we see Rock, he's not starting a program with Roman Reigns, I'm done. I don't want Rock anywhere.
I think you're
Come
going to
out,
be very
come out, do
disappointed.
this, come out, do the story with fucking with Roman, and fucking end your career. Go away, never come back. Now, with that said, sidetrack. That motherfucker has something else going on.
So wait, Mike, why don't you tell us how you really feel about The Rock's character right now?
I just did. Speaking of Rock and character work, that man is going to win a fucking Oscar this year.
You think he's going to win an Oscar for the Mark Kerr thing?
I do. Did you see the trailer?
Trailer looked
The
good.
the trailer looks phenomenal. He the make even if he doesn't win, I have to see the movie to see his acting in it to see if he's going to win the Oscar. But alone, the makeup artists are probably going to win an Oscar. Um, just the visual effects already look amazing. He did something to his voice. He's got that nasally thing that Marker has. I'm really excited for this movie.
Did you ever
Uh,
watch the original Smash Machine documentary on Mark Kerr?
I didn't know.
Very, very good.
I don't know if I knew it existed.
Yeah, it's very
If
good.
you would have told me a year ago that I'd be this excited about a Mark Kerr movie, I don't like Mark Kerr's not even in my top 10 favorite MMA fighters.
No.
So you know, if you told me to choose, hey, which UFC guys would you like to see a movie about? Mark Kerr's not the one I draw.
Oh,
But god
he's
damn, does this
well,
movie look
well,
amazing?
Mark Kerr was more of a Pride guy, right? Like he
Mhm.
really made his name in Pride,
Yes, he did.
but
Yes.
his story is it's a pretty crazy story, and I highly recommend looking at the documentary
I
made
will
about
look in
him.
the documentary.
It's very good. What we're talking about The Rock, there's something that I don't like that's going on in wrestling right now. And I don't
Yeah.
know, this could be me being a little bit of an old man yelling at a cloud, and I'm not unaware of how this could come off.
Hmm.
There are some times where I don't need to know everything that's going on backstage.
Okay. Yeah, you and I are gonna see differently on this one.
So, like when I see The Rock go on Pat McAfee's show, let's say, and basically t say the whole origins of everything,
Hmm.
I just think it's too soon for that. I want to see that in a documentary in a year from now. You know what I mean? Not while we're in the middle of the angle.
Sure.
I don't want to be told that, hey, brother, this is a work. Like, we know it's a work, we get it.
Yeah.
And I also am very torn on
I mean,
this
I don't like the way he went after what's the guy from
Dave LaGreco or
Dave LaGreca. Yeah.
Lagana or
I
whatever.
don't like the way he went after LaGreca about it. I think that was extremely disrespectful and unprofessional of Dwayne to do that. Um, I don't have a problem with the whole pulling back this new show that WWE is going to be doing.
I want to talk
Uh,
about that.
I don't have a problem with these things, and I'll tell you why. Fans for years and years and years have clamored. They've torn the internet apart looking for all the backstage shit, the rare shit, all the stuff that you're not supposed to see. Now that it's given to them, they don't want to see it. Now, what happened to kayfabe? What happened to kayfabe? Kayfabe died 25 fucking years ago.
I don't think anyone's
Stop
saying what
complaining.
happened to kayfabe.
Oh,
I haven't
dude,
seen a lot of that.
are you? Then you haven't been on the internet in the last 5.5 seconds. All fucking stupid smarks complain about every time. What happened to kayfabe? For example, people went nuts because the entire bloodline was on Stephanie McMahon's show. Like, why are they all together? Kayfabe. What about kayfabe? Fuck off. Kayfabe has not been a thing in decades.
Yeah.
Stop with the fucking kayfabe bullshit. My problem with this is people, they love shows like Dark Side, and people, they want to know all the backstage. As long as I can remember, people want to know what happens. They want to know the backstage stuff. They want to learn all this stuff. But as soon as it's no longer a chore or a task, or it's not something you have to work for, as soon as it's given to you, you don't want it anymore.
I have a
I
different
find that really weird.
I have a different take on it than that. For me personally, like I like to know stuff. Don't get me wrong. Like I read the dirt sheets. I try to educate myself on as much things that are going on. Um, I don't want the fans to get this access because they're already so annoying. So now that they're gonna see what's going
Well,
on, it's oh well they should have
okay.
done that instead.
All right,
Now,
I can't disagree with you right now because right now I don't think the fans deserve to know this shit.
and the other thing is, for me, I don't want to see how the magic is created. I want to
You
know the
don't want to see how
fallout.
the you don't want to see how the sausage is made,
That's
as they
right. I
say.
want to
Yeah,
just eat it, and
yeah,
and I want to, have my opinions on it still, and I want to read the dirt sheets to
and
see.
listen, I'm okay with it, but I think we're at a point now, so
But
just don't watch the show.
I
You know
and
what I
I
mean? Like,
I'm gonna give it a shot because the other thing I'm really curious about. Listen, and you know me, Mike, and I say this all the time. Everything's a work in wrestling.
mhm.
I want to know if they're gonna work this show. I know they will work this show.
Yes, of
First of
course
all,
they will.
I want to
They're gonna feed
know.
us shit that
I
they're
want to
gonna.
know how much of this show is a work.
Yeah,
But like the things that I like that I think could be cool. Like I like how we got the original WrestleMania card that
yeah,
they were planning. Like if the show is like that, where it's like, yeah, we were gonna do this, but it pivoted, I'm okay with it. I don't know how much I wanna. I'm gonna watch a show to see how much I want to see, if that
sure.
makes sense. I'm
Yep.
gonna give it a shot, but I also don't want my, and it's
I
something
think
that
Triple
the
H.
WWE hasn't done lately, but I don't want to be insulted watching the show and seeing scripted people throwing hissy fits backstage about an angle.
Well, no, if I want to watch that, I'm gonna watch fucking Total Divas. But
Hey, Total Divas was awesome.
um, but I think we're at a point right now where Triple H and TKO, I think their viewpoint is, listen, fans are gonna fucking try to get this shit anyways. Let's profit off it. TKO is about profiting off of every single thing they can, and I can't hate them for it. I
No,
can't.
neither do I. You know me,
It's a
I'm all
fucking
about the
business.
business. I'm
Yeah.
all about the business, man. You're never gonna hear me argue about business. I will. I've made 5 years of this show. I've always stuck up for the business side
Mhm.
over my heart. So I'm gonna watch it. I just don't want to see like, oh, this week the War Raiders were supposed to win the tag titles, but they decided to go in a different direction, and Ivar had a hissy fit, and it's just like, oh, fuck you guys. Like I don't want to see that. I think that would be terrible. Something we didn't touch on last week, I noticed, and maybe you guys did. I don't know if it even happened by the time you recorded last week, but the we lost the great Mongol McMichael, and I just wanted
Yeah.
to take a
No,
second.
we didn't touch on that.
I
No.
just want to take a second and send condolences to the friends and family of one of the wildest guys on the planet, Mr. Mongol McMichael.
Yeah.
For me, there's two big stories that I am interested in professional wrestling right now.
All right. So let's do your two stories. I've got two quick things I want to run by, and then we'll go through our massive 41 list. We're not doing seven this week, folks. We're in 41, and we're gonna speed through that. So
Yes.
what are your two things?
I think that the two people that came out of the WrestleMania weekend with the most buzz weren't
Yep.
even a part of WrestleMania except for one small segment. I think that Natty and Karrion Kross are about to set the wrestling world on fire right now.
I agree with Karrion Cross. I think you and I and our small group of friends are the only ones excited about the Natty thing. I'm not seeing a lot of buzz about it,
Wait
and
till it gets out there though,
I
because
I I, I hope I really
there
hope you're right, but
there was a tremendous amount of buzz about Natty coming out of WrestleMania weekend, not only from the online community, also very heavily praised backstage. She's getting ready now to take this new persona to the NWA to face
let's
Kenton Page.
I think let's see what she's going to do at NWA and then go forward from there. I hope WWE takes this as a platform though. You know what I mean? I hope they jump it.
I want
I
this
hope
to
they jump
cook.
on this because
Let
this
the,
new character, the not Natalia, the Natty Neidhart that we saw at Bloodsport, I want that on television.
I
And
don't
I don't give
yet.
a fuck what I don't give. Well, not tomorrow, but
I want
I want to watch her every week, and I don't care what program it is. You can put her on NXT, and I'm gonna watch it.
I
I
think
want that character.
I don't even want to see it on NXT yet. I want to see Natty Neidhart do what she's doing right now. I want to see her make
You want her to go
strong
around on the
bookings.
Indies? Yeah,
I want to see her in AAA. I want to
yeah,
see her in GCW more. I want to
yep.
see her in NWA. I want to see her in whatever other promotions, TNA,
I
right?
I'll tell you what else. I'll tell you what we could see her in, and you're gonna laugh at me, but it's a cross promotional thing because Don't quote me on this, but I believe it's owned by TKO. So we could see this. Um, Dana White's power slap. Uh,
Please
uh,
no.
well,
Please
no,
no.
I'm just saying they're doing a season of professional wrestlers
I saw that.
with Sin Bodhi as the talent acquisitions manager. They've already got in the real in the regular season. They've got Paige Van Sant in there. Tell me it's not money. You have Paige Van Sant getting the fucking taste slapped out of her by Natty Neidhart.
Yeah,
Natty just
and
has to come in, fucking break someone's face, and then leave.
but then
It
you
puts the name out there,
but
and
then you lose everything if Natty doesn't win the whole thing.
I think it's a work, so it doesn't really matter.
I don't know. I don't know much about that world. I refuse to watch slap fighting. I
Yeah.
refuse
Oh,
to watch it.
I
I
don't
hate
watch
it.
it. I think it's dumb.
I hate
I
it.
hate it. I have nothing but respect for our good friend Simbodi. But when Sin came out on his social media platform yesterday to talk about how professional wrestling is far more dangerous than slap fighting, here's what I'm going to say. I'm not going to go and say he's wrong because there's a lot of ways you can get hurt in professional wrestling. But professional wrestling has gone so far in the last 20 years to take concussion protocols that concussions, they're not gone. They're not, you know, they're not a nothing thing anymore, but it's happening less and less and less. Where slap fight, don't tell me there's not a huge chance of concussions when you're getting hit in the fucking head as hard as you can. No, I don't buy that from Sid. I don't.
No.
That's
And
just my
just
opinion.
mark my words, but unless the WWE does something really stupid, Karrion Kross
Now,
is going to be a humongous star by the end of the year.
Carrying Cross, I'm with you 100%. They have him marked. I love you and I discussed this off air, but I love how he's got the fans, the internet fans, in the palm of his hand because they think he's shooting. All the shit he's saying off air, he's going to podcasts like that. He went on the Sam Roberts podcast, apparently calling out Triple H. Anybody who thinks that wasn't 100% fucking on board, that Triple H didn't know that was going to happen, you're an idiot.
100%. That being said, though, even before that promo happened and before his great appearance in Bloodsport, and like Karrion Kross has had a lot of fan support behind him
Yes.
over the last couple of years. And I think it's not going to be like the Yes movement because nothing will be like that. But
Mm-hmm.
I think he's getting that Bryan Danielson love. He's getting that CM Punk love. That
Well,
people are ready for him.
the person that I have compared him to the most would be Matt Cardona.
Yeah,
He's got that back when Zack Ryder was in WWE still. Ryder wasn't being used the way he wanted to be used. So what did he do? He went to the internet. He created the internet championship. He got himself over big time with the fans, big time. And that's what Cross is doing. Cross takes he's so smart. He's an intelligent man, and you can tell that. And he goes on talk shows and he does as much as he can on social media to get his name out there. He stays relevant. Even
and
when he's not on television, he stays relevant. He's a smart guy.
bringing back the Fall and Pray entrance is such a
Yeah.
great idea as well. So I'm very happy to see that back. That's my little wrestling roundup. You got anything you want
Cool.
to?
I got two things. I just want to shout out somebody because I believe history may have been made this week, and you can correct me if you think I'm wrong. But I want to give a big shout out to the man beast Rhino.
Okay.
Um, Rhino's a legend. He's been around forever. I have a lot of respect for Rhino. Rhino debuted on AEW. Was it last week?
Yes.
I
This
think
week. Yeah, yeah, this week.
with him appearing in AEW, I think he may be the first person to do the following. Rhino has now appeared on WWE in both its incarnations, WWE and WWF, TNA in both its incarnations, TNA and Impact. He's been in WCW, ECW, NWA, ROH, AEW, AAA, New Japan, GCW, and NOAH. I don't think anybody else has ever been on the four major ones. I don't think anybody else has been on TNA, WWE, WCW, ECW, and AEW. Five, sorry. I don't think anybody else has done that.
TNA, WCW, um, Scott Hall would be the closest one to come to mind, but he was never on AEW.
No. No one's done this. No one's done all 5 shows.
Flair was never on ECW.
You know,
Like he was on WWE.
Raven would have come close, but he's not hasn't been on AEW. I don't
Has
think.
Raven not been on? I'm sure Raven's made an AEW appearance.
I don't think so.
Hmm.
Definitely not
Interesting.
wrestling. Yeah, he
Good for Rhino.
and Rhino. I'm saying he wrestled on every one of these programs.
Yeah.
Great. That's some history being made.
Stevie Richards might be there. Blue Meanie, one of those weird names that have
I don't think he's been on AEW.
RVD,
WCW.
NWA.
WCW.
RVD had a run in WCW.
Did you really? I
Yeah,
don't remember that.
he was Robbie V before he was
Oh no shit.
much like Rhino did the jobber work for WCW as Terry Richards.
No kidding. Eh?
Something to look into. Let us know if
Yeah,
you guys leave a comment. Let us know if you can think of anybody that's done all of the major
yeah.
promotions and in their original, not like WWE ECW. Like we're talking
No,
original
no, no, no.
ECW, original Ring of Honor.
And then, yeah, well, that's it. And then add in all the other ones I talked about, like New Japan and Noah and AAA. Like it's an amazing career he's had.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to mention, since we're about to talk about our favorite matches off every single WrestleMania card, they just did a documentary. Or they released a documentary that they made years ago about WrestleMania 9.
Yeah, I watched about half of it. It's pretty
I
good.
haven't seen it. I haven't seen it yet. I'm looking forward to it for the reason of this. I laugh at all the hate that WrestleMania gets. I read a couple lists online of every WrestleMania list, like ranked, and WrestleMania 9 always comes like second last.
That's stiff. There's
That's
been
stiff.
worse.
And I'll tell you why. In my list, I've written this down. I think there are 6 WrestleManias worse than WrestleMania 9.
I wouldn't argue that point.
And
I think
I think 1, 2, 4, 15, and 27 are all, and 27 and 37 are all worse than 9.
do you say 11 as well?
Well, 11
That's
11 is the
not
worst of all time. 11 doesn't even count. I
two.
don't that as far as I'm concerned, WrestleMania goes from 10 to 12.
Yeah, I don't argue that. Two is also a pretty rough WrestleMania to get through as
Yeah.
well.
1, 2, 4, 11, 15, 17, or not 17, sorry.
Yeah, that WrestleMania
uh,
sucked.
15, yeah, but not yeah. 27 and 37.
Yeah, you won't get a lot of arguments from me on that.
Yeah.
There's a couple of really bad WrestleManias. WrestleMania nine's got a couple decent matches on it.
Exactly. There's a
It's
couple
but
salvageable stuff, and we'll
it's
talk
got a
about that
cool
later.
vibe. It's got a cool vibe to it.
Yeah.
All right,
All
well
right,
let's
that's all I got. Are you ready? So what we're doing today, guys, this isn't the 41 greatest WrestleMania matches. This is the best match as far in our opinions off each single card.
and we're
We're
not going to
gonna
do a deep
no,
dive
we're
onto
gonna
these
go through the
matches.
list. Whenever we hit something that we think is debatable,
We'll talk about it.
we'll have a couple minutes on it. But if it's a unanimous decision or something not worth talking about, we're just gonna move on.
All right, well let's start off, man. Hit me up with your number one.
Very good. WrestleMania 1, I've got the US Express versus Shiki Baby and Nikolai Volkov.
Yeah, okay, decent. I got the main event, Hogan and Mr. T against Piper and Mr. Wonderful.
Mhm.
I just love Piper's heel work in that match.
Me too.
I thought all the players played their part well.
When I go back to watch wrestling matches, though, I often go back to this match. It's the only match I go back to on WrestleMania 1.
I think you could also give a strong contention to the women's match on that card as well. Wendy Richter and Leilani Kai. That was a pretty cool match.
Yeah, you're not wrong. WrestleMania 2, I'm going back to a tag match. I'm doing the Dream Team versus the British Bulldogs.
Yeah, I think our 2 and 3s should pretty much be the same. I'm also the British Bulldogs winning the tag titles against the Dream Team. And I think WrestleMania 3, we're safe to say Savage and Steamboat.
100%.
WrestleMania 4, this will be an interesting one. What do you got for WrestleMania 4? I had it narrowed down to 3 matches, and I chose a little dark horse.
Okay, you got a dark horse. I think mine's obvious, but maybe not. I've got Greg Valentine versus Ricky Steamboat.
Oh, yeah, eh?
Yeah, I love this match.
I went with Demolition and Strike Force just because.
Okay. I love Strike Force, and I gave thought to that 100%. But after a couple of rewatches, I think this is the better match. Steamboat was a beast, man.
Yeah, he was great.
Steamboat almost couldn't have a bad match back then.
I mean, there wasn't really a good match on this entire card, so like
no, that was probably the most like that's why I put WrestleMania 4 under WrestleMania 9 because Like I love the idea of a tournament at WrestleMania, but it just wasn't
It
put
didn't
together.
work. Yeah. I got Hogan and Savage for WrestleMania 5.
So do I.
I've got Warrior and Hogan for WrestleMania 6.
So do I.
I will catch Heat for WrestleMania 7. What do you have for
Okay.
WrestleMania 7?
I got Warrior and Savage for WrestleMania 7.
This Warrior and Savage is one of my least favorite matches
Is
ever.
it really?
I hate this match. I hate it.
Okay.
I hate it. I hate
All
everything
right.
about this match. I went with the
So
opener. I took the Rockers against Haku and the Barbarian. I challenge anybody to go back to that match and tell
I
me
haven't
it's not
seen
a
that match in
banger.
years. I haven't seen that match in years.
Absolutely banger.
I want to see where we stand on 8 here because I did not go with I guarantee the general consensus on 8.
I went with your favorite match ever, Piper and Brett.
Beautiful. So did I, obviously. I think a lot of people would have went with Savage and Flair,
It was
but I
my
think
original choice until I remembered about Piper and Brett.
Piper and Hart's one of my favorite matches of all time.
WrestleMania 9. This
Easily.
one, this was easy for me. What do you got?
Steiners versus the Head Shrinkers.
Thank you. Steiners versus Head Shrinkers for me. WrestleMania 10, two big
Come on.
matches to debate between here.
I
I'm going Brett and Owen.
I don't think there's a debate. It's Brett and Owen.
I've got Shawn Michaels and Diesel at WrestleMania 11 because I had to pick a match.
I've got the words "fuck this show" written down.
Fair enough. I went Iron Man match for 12.
So did I. And you know what?
Lackluster Mania.
I do consider the Iron Man match to be one of the most overrated matches in history. It's not a favorite match of mine, but it just happened to be. I was this close to writing down the backlot brawl
Oh, that would have been
because
a good choice.
I at least I love that match. I love
Austin
the concept of it.
Austin and Savio had a really good
Yeah, they did.
undercard match.
Yeah,
Speaking of Austin, I think no brainer on 13, Brett and Austin.
obviously.
14, interesting card. What did you go with 14?
I have Kane versus Undertaker.
I
I
went Austin and Michaels.
Okay. I just think this is the premier story. It's you know, Michaels Michaels was obviously hurt in that match. He did his best, but I don't think it was the best outing we've ever seen.
No, you know what? Actually, sorry, I forgot. I'm changing my match. I'm doing the dumpster match. New Age Outlaws against Terry Funk and Cactus Jack.
Very fun. I like that.
That's a great match. WrestleMania 15. I got Austin
15.
Rock.
I have Austin Rock as well, not because it's one of my favorite matches. This was like fucking garbage WrestleMania.
Yes, it was.
I hate this WrestleMania.
Another WrestleMania I'm not really a big fan of is WrestleMania 16, to be honest.
Same here.
But I do like.
Why
I do
did
like
every
the.
match have to be a fucking multi-man match? I hate this
Yes.
WrestleMania.
But I did like the Hardys versus Edge and Christian versus Dudley's. I think that was a no-brainer.
That is also on my list.
WrestleMania 17, I went with the same match again. I went with the TLC match. I gave strong consideration to Benoit and Angle as well.
I put Rock and Austin.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I would have went between Benoit and Angle and TLC. I chose TLC. WrestleMania 18, I went Hogan and Rock.
So did I. Again, lackluster WrestleMania as a whole, but this match was a it was a moment in time.
The next few
You know what I mean?
manias get pretty hard, so this could be
Here we go.
interesting. I got Jericho and Michaels for 19.
So do I.
I have the main event for WrestleMania 20.
So do I.
I have Angle versus HBK from 21.
Of course. So what we're saying is we just had 3 straight years of Shawn Michaels. You wonder why we call him Mr. WrestleMania.
No shit. WrestleMania 22.
If you say Michaels versus Vince McMahon,
no, I went with Edge and Foley.
So did I. Well, I have something to say when we get down a few, but yeah, I also went with Edge and Foley. It was a great match.
I'm interested to see your 23 because again, 23 was a really good WrestleMania. It could have a lot of options. What did you go with?
Cena Michaels.
I went Batista and Taker.
Okay.
I don't think there's a wrong answer there. They're both good. WrestleMania 24. What do you got?
Flair Michaels.
As did I. 25. I think Taker.
I think 25 and 26 are both
Taker and Shawn. Yeah.
So I'll stop there for a minute. It's too bad that that 22 had Michaels and Austin, Michaels and McMahon.
Mm-hmm.
Because on my list, not yours, but on my list, if Michaels could have had the 22 spot, he would have been the best match from 19 all the way to 26.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
You know, my God.
WrestleMania 27
And
because
that
I
and that's his entire second career, right?
Mr. WrestleMania. I mean,
That's his
take
entire second. He came back right before WrestleMania 19 and retired at WrestleMania 26.
well,
The,
and we can say the same thing about Taker on the second part of his career as well.
True enough.
If you look at my list, I've got him at 23, 25,
Yep.
26. I will have him at
And
27
I have him at 27 and
and
28.
28. I
Yep.
also have him at 29.
So do I.
So I have six Taker matches in
Yeah.
a row, which is
That's
pretty
insane.
crazy.
That's insane.
30, I went with Brian and Triple H.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so do I. I thought you were going to go for the triple threat.
No,
Uh,
Brian Triple
I think
H.
Brian and Triple H was the superior match.
31, I had a tough time with.
Me too.
I ended up going with Brock and Roman because I thought
So
their
did I.
match was very good and the cash in was great.
And
But
then the cash, one of the greatest cash-ins of all time.
I did give thought to Sting and Triple H. I'm not gonna lie. I love that match.
I thought about it, but I think
The ladder match also.
I think Brock and Roman is the right answer.
Yeah, the ladder match also was in consideration. Same thing with WrestleMania 32. I did
Mhm.
consider the ladder match, but I went with the women's triple threat.
Okay, I went with the ladder match.
Fair enough. WrestleMania 33, I'm interested to hear your take on this one.
I went Goldberg Lesnar.
So did I.
I can't believe those words are coming out of my mouth.
That match was
To
awesome.
to go back to WrestleMania 20 and say that that match will ever be a favorite match of mine. WrestleMania 33, they remedied that. They got retribution for that shit match at 20.
This
I'm
was like
so
a
glad they got this match
It's like a
because
7 minute car crash.
yeah, and it is the best match at WrestleMania 33, hands down.
That was amazing. 34. What are you doing with 34?
I got Charlotte versus Asuka.
I did the same as well.
Okay.
WrestleMania 35,
35 was hard because 35 is not a bad card, but it's not a great card either.
but
There's
there is
no
one.
amazing matches.
No, there is one amazing match on this card.
My the favorite of mine out of all this, I still don't think it's an amazing match, but I chose Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston.
That's what I chose as well.
I don't think it's an amazing match though.
This was the hardest one to pick for sure. WrestleMania 36. Where did you go with this one?
Taker AJ Styles.
I did as well. I did as well. I just thought it was I liked it. I liked it. Another
Yeah.
Taker match too. 37. This one was hard for
Again,
me as well.
dog shit WrestleMania. It was hard to pick one because they all sucked, but I went with Roman versus Bryan versus Edge.
As did I. WrestleMania 38.
I went Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins.
As did I.
Very good.
WrestleMania 39.
This is hard because I thought this is a great WrestleMania, by the way. I
Very
love
great.
30. I love 39. There's so many good matches to choose from. I don't know if you're going to agree or if the listeners are going to agree with my pick, but I went with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos,
Okay.
the main
Uh,
event from night one.
I went with Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre versus Gunter, and what I think is the greatest Intercontinental Championship match in WrestleMania history.
Okay.
This
All
match
right.
is unreal. 40, I think we can both agree on.
Roman
Cody
and Cody.
finishes the story.
Yeah. Okay. So
And
41. Before
this
you say
year's
yours,
WrestleMania, very
yeah.
curious to see.
Before you say yours, mine is still blank
Okay.
because I have been fighting between two matches for 2 weeks.
Mine was a
But
no-brainer for me.
And I was it okay. I decided I'm going to wait till right now. I'm going to flip a coin, and that's what I'm going with. So I'm going to flip it. All right. I am going with the triple threat match between CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins.
I have also done the triple threat match,
Okay.
but mine is between Rhea
Okay.
Ripley.
If the coin went the other way, that's where I was going. Either way, we were talking about a triple threat match. I just didn't know which one.
I thought
I
the
love
women's
both
match.
these match.
I
I
thought the
love both
women's
these
match
matches.
was outstanding. Unpopular opinion.
Yeah.
I did not love the main event of night one at WrestleMania. Everybody else loved it. I thought it was a great match.
I know you didn't like the turn.
I didn't like the way the Heyman turn was done. I'm
Yeah.
happy the turn was done. I love that
Sure.
the turn happened. I just thought they could have found a less obvious way to do it with Heyman being in the ring and doing these low blows. But I get incredibly taken out of matches where all you do for the majority of the match is kick out of massive finishing moves. And that's
Yeah,
what we
no, I get
got.
you.
I just, it takes me out of a match. It's not that the match was bad by any means. It just wasn't I thought it was still a great match. Don't get me wrong. It just wasn't my favorite match of the weekend. I don't even think it would be my second choice for match of the weekend.
Okay. Well,
But that women's match,
that women's match was phenomenal.
woo!
I
Those
love it.
women, those girls tore it down. Shout out to them.
We are entering Backlash weekend. What do you want to see from WWE moving past Backlash?
Moving past Backlash,
Yeah.
I want there to be a strong direction for John Cena.
Mhm.
I would like to see a third member at some point added to Paul Heyman's new group.
Why?
I just feel like that's the magic number.
Okay.
I think one more person.
Do you have any ideas of who?
No, I don't. I don't know yet. I'd have to really look at the roster to see who fits. Now,
Mhm.
is this somebody? Do you
By
want
the way,
another?
can I say that I called this right before WrestleMania? I say on this show that Paul Heyman will be managing Braun Breaker. Just saying.
I told Kurt Angle he should be managing Braun
I
Breaker.
know you did.
I stick by it. But I
They,
like
they could,
this.
but Kurt flat out said they couldn't afford him. So
That is correct also. Oh, and by the way, shout out to that incredible TLC match that they did on SmackDown a couple weeks ago. Have you seen
sure, yeah,
that?
absolutely, yeah, yeah,
Oh my God.
absolutely.
What about a woman being in the Paul Heyman spot? Like, do you want to see Becky Lynch in there?
No,
Do you want to see like a Bailey in there?
no.
What kind of a superstar needs to be in there? Does it need to be a big
I'm not against
star?
a woman. I just not those two particular women. I
Does it
don't
need
think
to
you
be a
need.
big star? Does it need to be an up and comer?
No, I
Like, do you
think
put
we
a
have.
Charlotte Flair in there, or
I
do you
think we
put like
have.
a
I think we have the
rising star?
chance. I think we have the chance of an evolution kind of deal right now. So you have your veteran in Seth Rollins. You have your current breakout star uh, in Braun Breaker. Who's going to come and be your Batista? Who's going to be that up and comer?
How about a name for a woman?
Uh,
I don't see it happening because I don't think that she'll be there anytime soon. But how about Jordan Grace in that spot?
I love Jordan in that spot. You know what? With the new gimmick she's got, it doesn't fit our narrative of an uprising star, but Natty would be very good in that spot.
I agree as well. Natty would be fun. Even Naomi, like one of those two, I think would be great. They're doing great work right now. I like that. I like that spot as well. Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm looking through the roster right now, and I just can't see that name that's jumping out at me that fits that vibe yet. But I think it is there. I'm going to do some
Well,
research and
if they
think about
didn't
this
drop the
more.
ball on the contract, I know somebody who would have fit for sure, and his name is Josh Goddamn Alexander.
That would have been a great spot for Josh Alexander,
Right?
who's doing great work, by the way, in AEW. Yeah, I got nothing. I got
And
nothing on it. Let me think on it.
Josh with Paul Heyman, oh, that gives me goosebumps.
That's wild. Speaking of Josh Alexander, make sure to catch him and all of the incredible talent that they have booked as the wrestling returns to Maple Leaf Gardens this weekend.
Yes.
Very,
Man, I
very
wish I
good
could be there.
stuff.
Yeah.
Next weekend we have TNA Wrestling coming to Brampton,
Mhm.
which is going to be great. Bret Hart's in Ottawa for an indie show. We are very spoiled over here in Ontario these days.
Big time.
Support Barry
Big
Wrestling,
time.
of course. Support Barry Wrestling. And get your cowbells out because there's going to be some fun stuff coming soon, and that's all I'm going to say about
100%.
that. That's all
Yeah,
I'm going to say about that.
we have some shows to talk about maybe in August, and
We have a
we'll talk about it real soon.
big announcement coming in the next couple of weeks, folks. Really big stuff here, but that is for the next couple of weeks, and that is all for this week. So,
Well, thank you very much for listening this week. Like Tyler said earlier, hit those subscribe buttons. Keep watching. Tell your friends to watch. We need those view hours. We need as much help as we possibly can get right now because we're so close to just doing something really big here. Thank you for all your support. Please continue the support and tell your friends to support us as well. Until next time, my friends, I'm so happy to say that I was here with my good friend Tyler. It's
me.
been too long, and we will be here next week. Possibly alone, possibly with guests. Who knows? It's always a crapshoot here. We never know what we're going to do, but it's always going to be a good time. And until that happens, you have been counted out.
Cheers.